All right, so the way I like to do these is I'll go through, make my initial rankings here, maybe change a few up along the way, but then at the very end, I'll do a final review where I go through one more time and make sure that everything is exactly where I want it to be. Make sure that I don't want to have something slightly above or slightly below something else. So if I happen to rank your favorite much lower than you think in the beginning, just give me time, see if I get it correct. And then if I don't, you can let me know in the comments below, which I know you all will. All right, and we will start with the LEGO creator Harry Potter, the very first Harry Potter video game ever. That's right, it actually came a little bit before Philosopher's Stone on the PC and on the PS1. And this one, it's kind of hard to rank because, I mean, it is such a product of its time, right? Like, if you really think about what it meant for LEGO, it was really the first time they'd ever done a third-party partnership like this for a video game, which, of course, set the stage for all the LEGO games that we have today, including some Harry Potter games that we'll get to later on this list. So as far as its importance in history, it is actually, I mean, you could argue exceeds expectations, but if you go back and you try to play this game right now, in these days, in modern times, it is not a good game. I mean, you might even say dreadful. When it launched, though, I feel like maybe at the lower end of acceptable is probably where it would have been deemed. So for now, let's put it at the top of poor. All right, so now we'll move to the first big Harry Potter game that most of us remember, Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone on the PC. Now, this game, I had such fond memories of this game. It was the first Potter game I ever played, of course, and also one of the first games that I ever played on my family computer. So this came out right around the time we got our first family computer, and I just remember having such a great time with it. And even going back now, which I've done recently here on the channel and played this game, it absolutely holds up. So, I mean, I think exceeds expectations for this one. It's definitely not an outstanding. It had problems. It's not the best Harry Potter game on the list. I mean, it's for sure acceptable, but I think exceeds expectations for me. Like I said, I think it is a game that still holds up. Now, Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone on the PS1. This one's a bit of a different story. I also played this one as well recently here on the channel. I don't think it's nearly as good as this one. However, I will say I was pleasantly surprised at all they were able to do on the original PlayStation, man. It was really pretty impressive. Now, there are some levels, like the Gringotts level. That alone, like that Gringotts level alone, brings it down for me. It really does. I'm not going to throw it into poor category because I do think it is a solid game, especially considering the time it released and the fact that it was, again, on the PS1. I'm very comfortable putting it right here in acceptable. Okay, now we're getting to the big ones here. Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets on the PC. Oh man, it's very possible that this is our first outstanding. Okay, let's start here first. It is absolutely exceeds expectations. It is absolutely better than Philosopher's Stone, even though I didn't play this one originally. I actually played the console one, which we're going to get to here in a second. But I didn't play this one when it first came out. It was only recently when I went back and played it here for the channel. And again, pleasantly surprised at how well this game holds up. If I had to say, one of the things that it does so well is all of the hidden secrets and all the little things that you can find throughout Hogwarts are super fun. And you guys in the comments, those of you who were there watching those live streams, you loved trying to help me find and discover all these secrets. So it is without a doubt exceeds expectations. I have so many people who tell me it's by far the best Harry Potter game ever. I don't know that I would go there. Again, it's really close to outstanding for me right now. Right now, I'm going to put it at the top of exceeds expectations here, though. Now going to the console version of Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. Now, even though for a long time, this one was my favorite Harry Potter game ever. It is the one that I still remember so fondly, playing it on my Nintendo GameCube. Now, it did have some incredibly annoying loading screens, just ridiculously long loading screens. And that, even going back now, that is really one of the main drawbacks for the game. Everything else, though, is really good. However, even I have to admit that it is not as good as Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets on the PC. It's just not. I do think it's better than the first game on PC, but it is not better than Chamber of Secrets on PC. Now, I almost forgot about the Chamber of Secrets version for PlayStation 1. I had to go back in and add that one. I recently played this one as well, And I don't think it's as good as the first one on PlayStation. Definitely not as good as the PC games or the PS2, GameCube, Xbox version of Chamber. Definitely not at that level. Honestly, some may even think it's poor. Nah, I'm gonna say a comfortable, acceptable there for that one, right in the middle. Lego Harry Potter Creator Chamber of Secrets. Again, I think putting it right around the same level as the other one is probably about right. And now we come to Harry Potter Quidditch World Cup. Okay, a lot of people that I talk to, a lot of people in the fandom say this is their favorite Harry Potter game ever. I wouldn't go that far. I do think it's a really solid Quidditch game. It was quite a bit of fun. I have trouble ranking it above any of these three, though, just to be 100% honest with you. I had more fun with this one, more fun with this one, more fun with this one. And yeah, I think that's about right now. Probably at the bottom end of exceeds expectations is where I feel comfortable putting that one. Ooh, okay, Prisoner of Azkaban. These are tough. Prisoner of Azkaban is really tough, especially the PC one. I actually really love the mechanics of the PC game. Honestly, in some ways, I think it's better than Chamber as far as the mechanics go. However, it is just so short. This game is really, really short, and there's just not nearly as much to do in this one. I don't know if they ran out of time or what. They kind of completely redesigned Hogwarts for this one, so probably had to spend a lot of time on that. Man, I want to rank this one higher, but I feel like at the top end of acceptable is probably where it belongs. It's a good game, though. Like, I absolutely believe that you should play it, especially if you've never played it before. It's a really fun game. All right, now Prisoner of Azkaban on console, which they actually stopped making them for the PS1. So they didn't make any more versions for the PS1. So this was like PS2, GameCube, and Xbox. Again, this era right here with this game. I don't know if I think it's better than Sorcerer's Stone on PC. Ooh. Or is it even better than the PC game? Oh man, this is hard. This is hard because I feel like both of these are solid games. I do. I definitely, okay, I definitely did not like it as much as either of these Chamber games. But you know what? I mean, it's kind of on par with this one, honestly. Sorcerer's Stone for PC. So you know what? Maybe we do. Oh man. Okay, here's the question. Is Prisoner on PC better than Sorcerer's Stone on PC? Oh, that is so tough. Honestly, I think it probably is. I do. I think it probably is. Like I was saying, the controls and how good this game looks and plays and feels on PC is really, really strong. But it's just, honestly, the biggest problem is it's so short, and there's not nearly as much exploration as this one as you get in either of these two, for sure. Oh, this is tough, though. This is really tough. Like, where it falls right here between these, that's really tough. But yeah, I think acceptable is probably a bit too low, especially if I'm thinking it's on par with these right here. Oh, man, and the Quidditch World Cup at the bottom of that. Ooh, that's tough. Okay, Philosopher's Stone, I call it a remake. It's not really a remake, but it was the version that they made. They took the same art style that they used in this Chamber of Secrets game and basically brought forward Philosopher's Stone on GameCube, Xbox, and PS2. And that is still to this day a pretty rare Harry Potter game to find. That one's a little bit more expensive if you go online and try to buy it from somewhere like eBay. And it is a good game. Again, there's a lot of nice improvements here. Like, it does not have the loading screens that you have with Chamber of Secrets on GameCube. But as far as the actual gameplay goes, I don't think it's better than these Chamber games. That's for sure. Where does it rank, though, with Prisoner of Azkaban? Oh, man. Prisoner of Azkaban. And where does it rank with the PC version as well? And is it better than Quidditch World Cup? I do think it's a good game, first of all. So, I mean, at bare minimum, this is unacceptable for me. See, I don't know if it's just my nostalgia talking, because when I was a kid, never played this one. Only played this one recently. Again, here for the channel. This one I have such fond memories of. Like, my heart wants to put this one ahead, for sure. But then my head is kind of saying this is probably the better game. Ooh, I don't know. We're definitely going to have to review this again at the end. All right, Goblet of Fire. Here's one that most of us can agree on. It's at least dreadful. Is it troll level? It's so sad that with this game, they had such a good thing going with Chamber of Secrets. They had such a good thing going with Prisoner of Azkaban. This Prisoner of Azkaban, for those of you who don't remember, it kind of brought in that element of playing multiple characters, especially the console. I mean, they both did it, but the console one seemed to have an impact even more in terms of the puzzle elements and how you had to kind of switch back and forth more frequently. And so it seemed like there were some good ideas there, but then they took it with Goblet of Fire and just went completely the wrong direction. It was all co-op. It was, you choose your level and you don't, there wasn't even an open world. So the fact that they went from the highs of these two games right here, Prisoner and Chamber, and then went to this, was just very disappointing. I mean, I don't troll. Like, even reading the Harry Potter books, it's like, okay, what exactly is the difference between dreadful and troll here? I mean, technically, like, the game does work, it functions, so I feel like it's at least dreadful. If it was troll, maybe that's just like if the game is completely broken or something, but it actually does in fact work. So yeah, I guess we put it at dreadful. And by the way, I'm not separating out PC anymore because pretty much from this point on, the PC versions were on par with what you would get on the console version. All right, Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. If you had asked me this years ago when all of these games first came out, I would have probably had this right here. Now, after going back and playing this recently, I'm doing this, man. I'm doing this. This game, it is not a good Harry Potter game. It is a good Hogwarts exploration, almost a walking simulator, dare I say. This game, for those of you who, in your memories, it's a great game, don't let me ruin it. Don't let me ruin it for you, please, because going back and replaying it, it ruined it for me. It really did. I could not believe how little story there actually was in this game, how little you actually got to do on the missions. It's fetch quests. It is all fetch quests. Like, the entire game is go here, go do this, go do that, go get this for me, then go back to them, then go back to them, then go back to them, then go back again. Okay, now, guess what? You get to do it all again. And then, oh, by the way, we're almost at endgame now. Just like, what? I mean, would it be even crazy to do this? Would it be really crazy? I know some of you are screaming, like, what are you thinking right now? But, I think I enjoyed these games more, to be honest. Now, technically, this one's way more impressive. Way more impressive. Hogwarts looks great. The layout of the castle and everything is fantastic in this game. But yeah, I'm putting it there for now, man. I'm putting it there. All right, Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. The complete opposite of the experience I had with Order of the Phoenix is the experience that I had with Half-Blood Prince. For me, Half-Blood Prince, I'm just going to say it. For a game, a Harry Potter game featuring Harry Potter as the main character, it's my favorite Harry Potter game. It is. And that was one, this is not any nostalgia at all talking here, because believe it or not, I didn't play this one when it first came out. I took a bit of a break after Order of the Phoenix, and was playing a lot of other games, and I think I got married around this time too, so there were all sorts of other things going on in my life when this game came out. I think it was 2009 is when this game came out. So I didn't play this one until very recently, again, here on the channel, so you can see my full playthrough and me experiencing that game for the first time. But this game, I feel like, just really nailed that being a student at Hogwarts, all the extracurriculars, all the little side activities that you got to do. The dueling was so good. And then people told me this for years about how good the potion brewing was in this game. And I just didn't believe them, because I've never been a big fan of mini games. I just don't care for them. It seems like a waste of time to me in a lot of games. But for this game, it just works so well. The mini games work so well because it's all kind of building into that experience of being a student at Hogwarts. And then you have the element of it is actually really challenging. If you've never played it, you may think, how could potion brewing possibly be all that challenging and even more fun? I think having that built-in reward system where you're graded immediately and there are certain little cues that you can follow. I mean, I was many hours into the game still discovering nuanced little details on the old DualShock 3 controller, that different vibrations and different things that you could notice and feel in the controller that would tell you when the potion was correct. And I actually said, I was like, okay, the next Hogwarts Legacy game, they need to take exactly this. Just take this potion brewing and bring it over, because the potion brewing in Hogwarts Legacy, it's basically just a mechanic for getting an item, right? You do it kind of the first time and then that's it. So again, dueling is awesome. I can't gush about Half-Blood Prince enough. And seeing this now, how many kind of exceeds expectations we have, I'm going to go ahead and do this right now too. I'm going to bump those two up. Yeah, that's feeling a much more, I like that distribution a lot better right there. And just to be clear, guys, outstanding to me doesn't mean perfect. It doesn't mean like among the best video games ever made, but in terms of Harry Potter video games, to me, those are the top tier. Those are the three clear top tier games of Harry Potter, at least in my opinion. Okay, now Lego Harry Potter years 1 through 4. Ooh, dude, for a long time, I said this was my favorite Harry Potter game. I did. That was until I played Half-Blood Prince. But I don't know, like going back now, looking at them now, the Lego games, I mean, you know what you're getting, right? It's great exploration. It's great for collecting. But the gameplay, the spell casting, the dueling, all of those things, it's pretty basic, to be quite honest. So I definitely think they're above acceptable. I don't think they're outstanding, though. No, I don't. I think they're somewhere here and exceeds expectations, but where, and this is the first game too. So they did release a pack later, the Lego Harry Potter collection with all of them. So I think they're pretty similar, although I'm trying to remember. I know that I really enjoyed Goblet of Fire, which is at the end of this one. 5 through 7 for me, something about that one, I don't think I enjoyed that one as much. So I'm going to put them, is it better than Prisoner of Azkaban? Honestly, yeah, I think so. I think it's better than Prisoner of Azkaban, and I'll go ahead and get Lego 5 through 7 as well and put right there. All right, Harry Potter and Deathly Hallows Part 1. Oh, dude. Is that Troll? Is it Troll? It is a really, really bad video game. Really bad video game. I recently went back and got the Platinum Trophy in it. Believe it or not, ridiculous. It was horrible. Completely as bad as you would imagine. It's just so bad, man. It's so bad. The only question for me is it worse than Goblet of Fire? Again, I'm not going to put either of them in Troll because technically everything works. It runs. You can beat the game. There's nothing game breaking. But yeah, it's just not a good video game, man. Like it's, and I understand, like, and I sympathize with the developers a bit because it couldn't be a traditional Harry Potter game. It just couldn't. And in a sense, that's kind of what happened with Goblet of Fire too. You know, they've got the Triwizard Tournament, right? So you have to have a huge element of the gameplay, be focused on that. I get it. Deathly Hallows Part 1, they're not in school. They're going all over the place looking for Horcruxes. It's a very different book, a very different movie. And so they had to figure out how to make that work in a video game, not to mention the fact that Part 2 is when all of the major action happens. You can have some things happen here, of course, in this first one, but this is where everything major happens. I will say this, Deathly Hallows Part 2 is without a doubt better than both of them. I might even be comfortable to put that one up in the poor category. I went back and platinumed that game as well recently, and it was just so above and beyond this game. You know, when I first played them, it was kind of funny. When I first played these two, I actually thought maybe Part 2 was a bit worse. But then when I replayed it again for a second time, I was just like, no way, man. This one's so much better. They took out a lot of what didn't work about this game. And there's also much better just source material for that. I mean, that's the main battle. You get to do all that stuff at the end of the book. It gets to take place in this game. So I'll put that one there. The only question for me is really which one is worse. And, oh, man. I'll say this. If you're playing Goblet of Fire with friends, it's probably going to be ahead. If you're not, I think it's the worst Harry Potter game ever made. I think, yeah, that's where it belongs. I'm putting it there. All right, it's done. Harry Potter for Kinect. Okay, I've never played this one. It is on the list to play, so I don't feel super comfortable in ranking it here. I mean, it's definitely not going to be in these top two for sure, unless it just totally exceeds my expectations, I guess. So I'll leave this one unranked for now. But if I had to guess, I think it's probably somewhere here in the poor category. I don't enjoy those types of games, man. Like the little gimmicky type games, which ties directly into Wonderbook Book of Spells. This one I have played right here on the channel. And it's interesting, this, I think for about an hour, it's really fun. The novelty, it's super interesting. It actually has some cool stories in there. But after about an hour, it's just not fun anymore. It's just not. I don't think it's as good as these games right here. I don't. But I don't think it's poor either. It is what it is, right? Like if you go in knowing what it is that you're going to be playing. I mean, it's kind of true to an extent with the Lego Creator games as well. It's like none of those three, this one and these two, they're not traditional exploration, action, adventure games like these are. They're just not. It's something else entirely. So if there was a category in between, that's where I'd put it. But for now, I'm going to put it at the bottom end of acceptable here. And Book of Potions is still on my list to play. I assume it'll be very, very similar. So I'm going to put it here at the bottom of the acceptable category as well. All right, up next we have Harry Potter Magic Awakened, which I am including because I know it never came to PC here in the US, but it is available for PC in many countries. And I'm still very sad about this game shutting down here in the US. I know there are still ways to play it. I've kind of been looking into that. So if you're interested at all in that, stay tuned to see if I end up taking that plunge or not. This one is without a doubt far exceeded my expectations. Far, far, far exceeded my expectations for a card-based combat MMO type game. I was not expecting to enjoy Harry Potter Magic Awakened as much as I did. Now, full disclosure, I was a ambassador for the game. That was not a position I was paid for or anything, but just to make sure you guys know, I did get to take part being on that ambassador team. However, I was kind of one of the later ones added to the ambassador team and was singing this game's praises long before that. And honestly, I didn't know if I was going to play it much at all and ended up just playing a lot of that video game. And it is super underrated. And I know a lot of people hear card-based combat and you just immediately turn off. I certainly did when I heard that for the first time. But actually giving it a chance and playing through it, I was just so pleasantly surprised by that game. I mean, it honestly, it may even be outstanding for me if it had a better monetization strategy. I paid, I think, $10, $15 for the game. I bought like one season pass or whatever, and that was it. But the amount of value you could get just for free is huge with that game. Now, I will say, if you don't like the dueling, that's really kind of the main, for me, that is the funnest part of the game. If you don't like that, then I can see how a lot of people be like, okay, I don't get this at all. So that's a tricky one, but for me, it is for sure exceeds expectations. And now we come to Hogwarts Legacy. Look, it's outstanding, guys. It's outstanding. Is it perfect? No. But for me, it is without a doubt the best Harry Potter game we've ever had. If you count it as a Harry Potter game. I certainly do, but then sometimes, I ask people, okay, what about just, Harry Potter games where you only play as Harry Potter? But if we are including it in this list, for me, none of the other games come close. They really don't. Are there things that they do better? Some of them, yes. For example, we already talked about the potion brewing here. We already talked about the puzzle elements and the exploration in Chamber of Secrets. But when you take all of those things together, Hogwarts Legacy, was it perfect in any one of those areas that we just talked about? No. But it had at least a little bit on each of them. And then the combat was amazing. That, for me, the Hogwarts Legacy, the combat is outstanding. The exploration, getting to go through the world, all the little unlockables and all the secrets and details that they packed in, the level of production value that they have with this game, for me, it just far surpasses what you get in Chamber and far surpasses what you get in Half-Blood Prince. That being said, I do think there is a lot of things that the sequel could actually learn from some of these old school Potter games. They got to fix the extracurriculars for sure. They got to fix the student life and make that better and make it more like you're an actual student. And that is if they still keep us as a student. Who knows? The game isn't even official yet. We don't know if it's actually happening. And if we're a student or if we're an adult, a professor, somebody outside of Hogwarts, we have no idea what's happening. However, if they do another student-focused game, I think it definitely needs to take some of those elements. But for me, everything else, I honestly, like when people ask me this, I really don't even think it's close, to be honest with you guys. Like, I mean, if we just look at these three right here, plus this entire row here, the exceeds expectations, there are some good to very good games in there. But I don't think a Potter game has ever truly been great, except for Hogwarts Legacy. I think it is a great game with some flaws that could hopefully be fixed in a sequel. All right, now the most recent Harry Potter game, Harry Potter Quidditch Champions. Well, this is without a doubt an exceeds expectations for me. It is. This one's kind of hard to rank too because there's still so much that we don't know, like so much that can still happen throughout the game's release because it is a live service title. I will say one of the super sad things about this is it is always online. So whenever the servers do eventually go down, unless something changes, this game will be lost forever. It'll be lost to history. Kind of a similar thing with Harry Potter Magic Awakened right here. But in terms of where I would rank this, guys, I'm having a blast with this game. I really am. I think it is. I think it's better than World Cup. I'll just say it. I do think it's better than Harry Potter Quidditch World Cup. The mechanics are just outstanding for a Quidditch game, for a standalone, dedicated Quidditch game. I think it is better. And honestly, I probably put it better than that. I put it better than that. And then I'll stop there. I'll stop there for now. I think it has the potential. I think it has the potential to get up there. I really do. Based on the life of the game, what happens throughout its development, what they do to continue to support it, it has the potential over there. But right now, I'm going to put it here kind of in the middle on exceeds expectations. Okay, so that's how everything shakes out. Let's take a final look here and see if there's anything we want to rearrange at all. I feel very good about Hogwarts Legacy at number 1. That's really not even close for me. Half-Blood Prince at my number 2. Chamber of Secrets on PC at number 3. And then Chamber of Secrets on console, not the PS1 version, at number 4. Those are our outstandings right there. Now, I guess some could argue that maybe we shift these three down into exceeds expectations and everything else gets bumped down a level. But honestly, I don't think that's fair to these games right here. I think all of these that I have absolutely exceed expectations. Is Harry Potter Magic Awakened the top one right there, though, for me? Do I enjoy it better, oh man, than the Lego games? In terms of replayability and everything, yeah, I think so. Now, the sad part is that game, once the server shut down fully, which hopefully that'll be a very long time before they go down worldwide, it's a shame that game is not going to be seen and played by more people. The Lego games, yeah, this is where it was really tough. Like deciding between the PC version of Prisoner of Azkaban and the console version of Prisoner of Azkaban, along with the Lego games. Like I said, I really did enjoy the PC game. Just the biggest issue is the duration. The game is just so short. And then Quidditch World Cup. You know what? Let's do this. Let's bump. I think you move the console one to right here. But I didn't. I enjoyed this game more. I did. Even if this one had more content, I enjoyed the PC one more. And then that puts the Lego ones right there. Then Quidditch Champions there. Then Philosopher's Stone, which I do think was better than the original PC game, which I do think was better than World Cup. Yeah, I feel good about that. All right, acceptable. We got Order of the Phoenix. We've got the PS1 version of Philosopher's Stone. We got the PS1 version of Chamber, then Book of Spells. Yeah, I feel good with that. And again, like if we're going based on the time they released, then maybe the Lego Creator games jump up to there as well. But for me, like I'm going to have them at poor. And then Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2 at poor as well. And then dreadful Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 1. And the worst Harry Potter game ever made, Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. Oh man, like I said, guys, with this one right here, I recently got the Platinum Trophy in it. You can check out that video over on the left side of your screen now. That's over on our Platinum Trophy channel. As always, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll talk to you again soon.